Hi, I'm Kimberly Allison from Starliner Music. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to continue with my series entitled Rhythm Exercises. These exercises look at blues, rhythmic phrasing, and we go back and forth from lead guitar to rhythm guitar. First, I will perform rhythm exercise in the key of G number 7, and then I'll break it down for you. Here we go. I hope you enjoy it. All right, let's break down rhythm exercise in the key of G number 7. We have a 12-bar blues that I've divided into 6 two-bar phrases. Each two-bar phrase will use the exact same rhythm. In the first bar of the two-bar phrase, we'll be playing lead guitar. The lead guitar idea will extend into the first eighth note of the second bar. At that point, we'll enter into the rhythm guitar pattern, which is generally known as the Chuck Berry or Jimmy Reed pattern. One full bar of the pattern would typically sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... But because we're playing lead guitar through the first eighth note, we will chop that out of the rhythm guitar pattern and come in on the and of 1. So now the rhythm guitar pattern would sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So the lead guitar will use the exact rhythm in every two-bar phrase. The rhythm is triplet, 2 and, rest, iplet, triplet, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So first of all, let me comment about rest iplet, what that means. So a triplet is a beat divided into 3 parts, and I usually describe that is using the phonetic syllables from triplet to describe how that goes rhythmically. So a triplet would typically sound like triplet, triplet, triplet. But because we're going to rest on the first part of the triplet, I'm calling it rest iplet. So this rhythm will be described on screen here. But suffice it to say that a rest iplet just means that we do not play on the first part of the triplet. So again, the rhythm that we'll be using for lead guitar is triplet 2 and rest iplet triplet 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you can hear there where I came in on the rhythm guitar. Now that we've gone over the rhythm, let's look at the scale that we'll be using in this example. We'll be playing the G blues scale at the 3rd fret. This is where the G chord looks like an E, or is in the E shape. Therefore, we're going to call this scale pattern the E form of the G blues scale. Now, remember that the term blues scale and minor pentatonic are sometimes used interchangeably. That's because the blues scale is simply the minor pentatonic with the addition of the blue note. So now, the pattern that we'll be using looks like this. This is the G blues scale at the 3rd fret. That will be our scale choice for this example. Now that we've talked about scales and rhythms, let's go on to part 1. Triplet 2 and rest iplet triplet 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we're starting off with the whole bend here on the 3rd string, and we're bending up to the 5th of G. The 5th of G is the note D. And so I like to say that starting on chord tones is a good idea. You can start and end on chord tones, and that will help outline the chord change. So we're on G, we're starting on the chord tone D. And then after that first triplet, one end will be about a half bend. So we're bending to almost be at the 6th fret, and then back to the G here. So, and then we have the rest, and then iplet, and so coming down the scale, and then on the last triplet we're going to use the blue note, coming down the scale, and then ending on the root G. 1, and then we're in on the rhythm guitar. On to part 2. Here's part 2. Triplet 2 and rest, iplet, triplet 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So we're starting on this triplet, and we have going into the second beat of the measure, kind of a finger roll. So triplet, and then I'm rolling my index finger, 2 and then we have a whole bend after the rest. So rest, iplet, and then we have a bend release in the last triplet, triplet, and then we end on the root G, and then we go into the G comping. On to part 3. Here's part 3. Triplet 2 and rest, iplet, triplet 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So part 3 is over the 4-chord C7, and I'm starting off with a double stop, and I have an approach slide triplet, and then 2 and coming down the scale, and then rest, iplet, and then triplet, and then ending on the root of our chord C, and then to the comping now, which is on C, and 2 and 3 and 4 and so. Now for part 4. Triplet 2 and rest, iplet, triplet 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So part 4 is back on the 1-chord G7, and I start off with the root G, and then I have a bend release to the 5th of the chord D. So triplet, and then 2 and coming down the scale, and then I have the rest, and then using the blue note in the rest of the triplet, rest, iplet, triplet, finger roll there, 1, so rest, iplet, triplet, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Here we go again. Triplet 2 and rest, iplet, triplet 1 and 2 and 3 and... Here's part 5. Triplet 2 and rest, iplet, triplet 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So we're going to start off with a bend to the root of the 5-chord D, triplet, 2 and... So we're on the 5 chord here. I'm starting off with a bend to the root of the 5, triplet, and then 2 and. I take a pause there for the rest, and I end on the root D again, triplet, 2 and then after the rest I go rest, iplet, I have another bend to the D, triplet, and then the last bend to the D. go over to the comping. And 2, and 3, and 4. Let's put that together. On to the last part. Here's part 6. Triplet 2 and rest triplet, triplet 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we're going to start off with the first triplet. We're going to use the blue note in this triplet, triplet, and then 2 and. And then we're going to have a rest, and after the rest we have a double stop. So this note on the B string is kind of technically out of the minor pentatonic. It's actually in the major pentatonic, but we're just going to grab onto it and make it a double stop and do a quarter to a half bend. So it's a bend release, rest, triplet, and then this triplet, the last triplet on beat 4, triplet, and then ending on the root G. And 2, and 3, and 4. Let's put that together. That's it for rhythm exercise in the key of G number 7. I'm Kimberly Allison from Starlander Music, and I hope to see you back on my channel soon.